It's time for another blistering report from the front lines of the cultural war for a constitutional America. And now, here's your host, Charles Benninghoff.
The IRS, under the leadership of Commissioner John Koskinen, continues to deny tax-exempt status to Christian and conservative groups. But Koskinen just fast-tracked an after-school Satan club in Tacoma, Washington. Examples of discriminatory treatment don't get any more blatant than that. Why is John Koskinen still running the IRS? I've got to ask, why? The guy was put in charge of the Internal Revenue Service to clean up the mess after Lois Lerner was caught running an operation to deny tax-exempt status to every group that was opposed to Obama's agenda. The House Oversight Committee filed impeachment charges against Koskinen last year. The House Judiciary Committee held one impeachment hearing, and then the effort just seemed to die on the vine. Now we have a new president in office, but Koskinen has not been fired. He's not been replaced. A new Congress has been sworn in, but Koskinen remains in power. And facts show he's still up to his old dirty tricks. We need to renew the call to impeach IRS Commissioner Koskinen, and today I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you how you can help. But be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to stay up to date on our pro-America action plans as we work to keep Congress accountable to the American people. Just click the subscribe button you see appearing in your window now. That'll put you on our list and you'll get notification whenever one of our news channel videos come up. But first, let's talk about this after-school Satan Club. After-school Satan Club. Breitbart News reports that this Satan club at the Point Defiance Elementary School in Tacoma, Washington, applied for tax-exempt status on October 21st, 2014. Now, this is an elementary school. We're not talking universities or postgraduates, not even high school. This is elementary school. What do we got going teaching our kids? A Satan club at an elementary school? That shocks me. I hope it shocks you too. Well, the IRS approved the club's request on October 31st, 2014, 10 days later. Just 10 days. Can you imagine a conservative group asking the IRS exempt organizations section for anything and getting a response, let alone an approval, within 10 days? I can't imagine it. When Barack Obama's brother Malik Obama set up a phony 501c3 charity in 2011, which he used to build a personal mosque and a hotel in Kenya, it took the IRS only 33 days to approve his tax-exempt status. And that was after Lois Lerner personally signed off on the paperwork. So the IRS must have really put a rush job on the after-school Satan Club application. An elementary Satan Club. I can't even believe this. As I'm sitting here recording this video, it has been 1,408 days since America learned about the plot hatched at the IRS to deliberately target Christian, conservative, and Tea Party groups by denying them tax-exempt status. This was done deliberately by the IRS through the actions of Lois Lerner and others, and it was there to help the Obama election in 2012. This was all politics, 100% politics. It keeps on getting even riper. Nothing has been done about this. No one's been fired, and John Koskinen continues to run the IRS. The Albuquerque Tea Party and the Tri-Cities Tea Party from Washington State were both denied tax-exempt status last year after waiting 7 years. So, 10 days, 7 years. 10 days if you're worshiping Satan, you get an approval. 7 years if you're worshiping our Constitution and fighting for our freedoms, you never get approved. This is a huge violation of their free speech rights. Indeed, the free speech rights of all Americans. And now John Koskinen is just laughing at America because he still has his job and he can fast-track approval for after elementary school Satan clubs in just 10 days. If you want to get a sense of just how much contempt Koskinen has for Christians in America, let's take a look back at one of the hearings in the House Judiciary Committee. Here's a clip of Koskinen trying to duck and dodge when it was Congressman Trey Gowdy's turn to question him. Take a look. Listen closely.
You have already said multiple times today that there was no evidence that you found of any criminal wrongdoing. I want you to tell me what criminal statutes you've evaluated.
I have not looked at any.
Well, then how can you possibly tell our fellow citizens that there's no criminal wrongdoing if you don't even know what statutes to look at?
Because I've seen no evidence that anyone consciously...
Well, how would you know what elements of the crime existed? You don't even know what statutes are at play. I'm going to ask you again. What statutes have you evaluated?
I think you can rely on common sense that nothing I have seen...
Common sense. Instead of the criminal code, you want to rely on common sense. No, Mr. You can shake your head all you want to, Commissioner. You have said today that there's no evidence of criminal wrongdoing. And I'm asking you what criminal statutes you have reviewed to reach that conclusion.
I've reviewed no criminal statute.
All right, so you don't have any idea whether there's any criminal conduct or not because you don't know the elements of the offense.
I've seen no evidence of wrongdoing.
Oh, well, that's very different from no evidence of criminal misconduct, Commissioner.
Well, it seems to me if you haven't done wrongdoing, it'd be pretty hard to argue that you've had some criminal violation if you did.
Well, what did Lois Lerner mean when she said perhaps the FEC will save the day?
I have no idea
what did she say? What did she mean when she said we need a project, but we need to be careful that it doesn't appear to be per se political? You don't think that's a potential violation of 18242?
The Supreme Court has ruled the government cannot discriminate against groups based on the viewpoint of their speech. Christian groups wait for years for tax-exempt status only to be denied by the IRS. The after-school elementary Satan Club is rubber-stamped in 10 days, and Obama's brother gets it in 33. It doesn't get any more clear than that. The IRS under John Koskinen discriminates against anyone who opposes Barack Obama's anti-Christian globalist viewpoint. Here is what the articles of impeachment against Koskinen said last year. Now listen up. These things are important. You got to know these things when you're talking about it. People just won't believe this unless you can cite these facts. Article 1. Koskinen had IRS employees magnetically erase 24,000 Lois Lerner emails after receiving a congressional subpoena. Article 2. Koskinen lied to Congress on 3 separate occasions in testimony while he was under oath. Article 3. Koskinen repeatedly violated his promise to a Senate committee to be open and transparent about the investigation. Article 4. Koskinen failed to act with competence in the investigation of the IRS targeting scandal, especially when it came to Lerner, his good buddy. Now, new Congress needs to resubmit these articles of impeachment against John Koskinen and get hot doing it. They won't do it unless we get on their case. And I'll tell you in a few minutes how you can take part in that action. Koskinen needs to be impeached. He needs to be put on trial, and he needs to be removed from office in a showcase trial to show other globalist Obama leftovers that they have to follow the law, and we have a new administration here. Obama's hand-picked team of IRS goons engaged in direct political targeting to shut Christian and Tea Party groups down, and this practice continued even after Lois Lerner resigned. The dates are very clear here. Lois Lerner was long gone when the after-school Satan Club had its tax-exempt status fast-tracked. Here's how you can help strike a blow for freedom of speech in America and a blow against the bureaucracy now on the IRS that thwarts our freedom of speech and is favoritism towards Satanist clubs against Christians, conservatives, and as Tea Parties. Go to our action page today and start sending personal letters to Congress, starting with the House Oversight Committee. Demand that articles of impeachment against John Koskinen be refiled, and then Congress must follow through, boot Koskinen out of office, and strip away his government emoluments. Do it now because Christian groups are still being denied tax-exempt status to this day, as are conservative groups and Tea Party groups. So, go to the next screen with Bob Mallory. He'll tell you how you can get to our action page, how you can take action, send those letters to Congress, and be your own action hero. This is Charles Benninghoff signing off and wishing you freedom, fulfillment, and God's many blessings.
If you're on our action page on our website, use the form next to the video screen to select a program and send personal letters to Congress. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, click the icon appearing now to find the link to our action page, or check the video's description to find the link. Speak out today.